What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the Otaku Kickback Sessions. As always, I am one of your two co-hosts, Easy the Shinobi, and here with me on this fine Saturday night, it's my boy Green Spectre.
Yo, was good.
What's good? What's good, folks? Happy post Halloween. Hope you guys had a good Halloween night. Hope you all were safe. If you guys went out to go party, you made some responsible decisions. Get wild, but be responsible. Yeah, man. How's it going? How you been?
Eh, just chilling,
You know.
finding some chainsaws in my Halloween candy, and a whole bunch of 9mm pistols as well.
Oh man, so you got the good Halloween candy. I just got a bunch of freaking almond joys.
Heh, loser.
No, but no. You can't hate on almond joys. That okay? You know what? Almond joys aren't that bad when you reach when you reach older age. You start to realize the coconut ain't that bad. I mean, it's decent, but it's not bad.
Heh, way to dox yourself.
What do you mean? Way to dox myself? I just said when I get older.
Back when I was young, meh.
We're the same age, you dick.
Nuh-uh, you'll die before I will.
No, the fuck I will. No, hell no. If I'm dying, I'm taking you with me.
No, you gotta catch me first.
This is bullshit. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait, and then I'm gonna pop out like a little like springy ghost. Because at that point, I got no legs. I just got the little like fucking ghost weavy shit that happens in cartoons, and then at super speed at that point.
Ha,
Fucking
sucks for you. I'm religious. I don't believe in haunted ghosts.
down.
See?
No. You can't be religious. I know what kind of cochinadas you have on your PC.
Ha, bet.
God. Actually, since we're on the topic of religion, nothing heavy. But this thing did come out like earlier this week. The Catholic Church has a new mascot that they are presenting for 2025,
Oh
and
yeah, Luce.
Luce is a little anime girl.
Yeah,
She's adorable. She's adorkable.
she is the official Catholic mascot. Luce, Italian for light.
Mm-hmm. Chose a perfect name for it too. That, and I will say the memes that have been coming out on Twitter for it have been also pretty funny as well.
Oh yeah, the ones I've been seeing where I have the power of God and anime on my side.
And now, legit, you could have the if you're a Catholic, you legit now have the power of God and anime on your side because Luce will bring it to you. There is this one. Thank you, Shy Lily, for that quick interruption.
Whoops.
There is this quick one that I saw is essentially it's a meme that says inside you there are two Catholics, and one is Luce, basically in like a wholesome setting, and the other one is fucking Doomslayer, with the sword from Doom Eternal and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I could relate to this. I could fuck with this. Yeah, but it's adorkable. It's adorkable. Oh, and one and some other news that came out today. That actually came out earlier today. Um, you remember Godzilla Minus Zero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, that if you guys haven't went to go watch it, it's been out for a year. Trust me, it's well worth the watch. But yeah, the sequel is in production, at least according to the director for Godzilla Minus Zero, Takashi Yamazaki. It's a video announcement that came out earlier today. I'm looking forward to it because Minus Zero was freaking spectacular, and I did like the story that came along with it. That it didn't focus too much on Godzilla. It focused on the humans that were affected by Godzilla's kind of like first attack and post World War II. And so I'm hella looking forward to it.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and also, Skechers announced a collaboration with Spy Family. I did see some of the photos that came out for essentially the shirts that they're going to be taking out for them. They're pretty legit. I like them. I like up the your ones. The your ones kind of reminds me. It kind of look like a bit of a colorway of the original Jordan ones and stuff. It look pretty dope and has kind of like yours portrait on the side, but they're like red and black and white sole. Um, those look pretty cool. Oh, and it's not bad too. It's $85 a pop, so it's really you save some good money on that one.
Nice, nice. I'm looking forward to see what else Spy Family collaborations happens in the future.
Here's hoping to some gotcha collaborations because I have a feeling at least basically any Spy Family and say Genshin or Star Rail or Zelda Zone Zero would go hard. So let's see in the future.
Oh
Oh, that
yeah,
does remind.
imagine having Lloyd the husbando in Nikkei. I
I
mean,
will.
he uses a gun.
Actually, you know what? That would be pretty cool. Having truth be told, I think Lloyd, if he were to be a Nika, he would be the only fucking pistol user in that game, right?
I mean, there was a Suyin
Yeah, but Suyin was she had that like fingerprint gun and April Fool's event.
and
Um,
Shifty.
yeah, and
She had a machine pistol.
she had a machine pistol, but like Lloyd would be the would be the only one with like a single shot pistol at that point. But still, that would be cool as hell to see. Oh, I did actually want to bring something else up, something neat that I found on TikTok. So there's this so any Latinos that grew up around our age and stuff, you most likely have heard of the band Banda Recodo. And something that popped up on my TikTok last weekend that I'm surprised that they did was essentially a cover of the Dragon Ball GT ending. Is so the GT ending song, GT ending theme was called "Dan Kokoro Hikare Teku,"
Mm.
and essentially they took out a Banda version of it. I believe it's called "Mi Corazón Encantado." I listened to it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I've been digging it for this past week, and it was like, you know what? It's a I didn't expect a Dragon Ball GT cover by a famous Banda group, but here we are. I mean, 2024 is full of surprises.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I believe you have some stuff to bring up before we get into our main event.
Yes. First one. Let's talk about Xenoblade Chronicles X, the definitive edition. But and this is just me theorizing, the global version is going to be based on the censored Western version.
Really?
Yeah, so they're releasing a remastered version from the 2015 version
Mm-hmm.
that was released for the Wii U.
Okay.
However, the remastered version will have enhanced visuals, additional story elements, and more things that everyone wants.
Hmm. Okay.
Unfortunately, they're releasing one version of the game for everyone, which
Hmm.
is the censored Western version, as uh, according to their Twitter. The Xenoblade X Definitive Edition will use the Western/US version as a base for the Switch port.
Hmm.
In the era of modern region free, in quotes, approaches, all censored content will applies all together in one regional build package for its money. This is a
Hmm.
translation error, obviously.
Yeah.
For its money, we can say, because their reasoning, region specific versions aren't cheap.
Hmm. Yeah, I could kind of see that.
Yeah, and besides, you'll have a whole bunch of people that are going to automatically flock towards the Japanese version because, oh, hey, uncensored titties, even on a Switch game.
Uh,
Unfortunately for everyone, every version, including the Japanese version, is going to be based on the US censored version as a base platform for the remastered version.
Yes, because I was missing that in my life. The Xenoblade titties, and it's all 720 p glory. But yeah, no, I mean, I could kind of see from their viewpoint as to why kind of like doing different region versions for the port to over the Switch. It does cost a lot of money, and you have to do way more editing as to like say, you take out the version for North America and stuff, right? And then you have to essentially work on the version like for the port over to Europe. Oh, doing the censor version, and at least at least from how I seen it, there's not really that many kind of like fan service stuff in Xenoblade in general. I mean, again, to be honest, I never really played the game. I mainly just kind of like heard, we have a buddy that plays it, and from a bit of what I've seen on Twitter. So it doesn't really seem that there's much fan service stuff in game in general. So I mean, that and it seems like they're making up for it by including more content in the game. So I mean, I guess it kind of evens it out.
Yeah, our other buddy, Mirath, as we'll call him,
Yeah.
he couldn't be with us today because obviously he's not into this whole podcast stuff, even though he has tons of opinions he could put on with Xenoblade, which it would have been a great idea to get him on, but he can't be bothered today. He has some other life business to do.
Oh yeah, and here's hoping that we could bring him on here to the OKS because you know he does bring valuable opinion and valuable information that I'm pretty sure you guys will like. In general for video games and stuff, especially say with the recent Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow Generations game that came out. I believe he finished it before we did. So
He pretty much played it on release date, played it nonstop until like probably 3 in the morning. And I know this because he sent me a message saying, "Man, I just beat the game. That thing was easy."
wait, he sent you a message?
Yeah, he sent me a message. Luckily, I was getting up for work and I'm just like, "Bro, it just launched a few hours ago. How the hell did you already beat it, you lunatic?"
Seriously,
And
like
he sent another message saying, "Oh, well, I just played it nonstop."
how the fuck do you play? I mean, this is where our age really starts to show, where it's like I I don't have the attention span to kind of go through a game because how long is a campaign? Like
For Shadow
in general.
Generations, I guess,
Mhm.
according to him, let me pull up the chat logs. 6 hours,
6 hours, man.
according to him, but he beat it in 4.
Jesus, how the fuck do you beat? Never, you know what? Never mind. I have a feeling I know how he beat it in four. Um, I'm good, man. I don't have that same attention span anymore. I barely, you know, that's I mainly just log on to kind of like ZZZ or Nikkei or whatever, collect the dailies, and that's kind of my gaming for like a good 80% of the week. But man, this dude's a lunatic. We should have him on one day.
Yeah, we should just have him talking about Sega and all that stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, imagine if we had to play Yakuza. Sega said it's a Sega property.
True.
No, no, no. Better yet. We'll have him play Peak. We'll have him play some of the Hatsune Miku games, since it's a Sega property.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Fucking big brain ideas here at the OKS. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's Jesus, man. Being 29 sucks. I wish I had the kind of the mental space to be able to play 6 straight hours or 4 straight hours through a video game. There's no issue. I used to be able to when Halo 3 came out and Modern Warfare 2 came out, but yeah, now I can't do it. Oh, oh well, that's life. Maybe in the following months, but yeah. Enough of my rambling.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about some other stuff.
let's talk about some
Let's
others.
let's talk about chapter 162 of Oshinoko.
Ah, yes. So
Spoilers for people who aren't caught up to it.
Heavy spoilers. Heavy spoilers.
Heavy spoilers. So people were saying, "Oh, this is Akka's worst take. Like, oh, why would Akka do this? He's such a bad writer. This is such bad writing. Blah blah blah." Because he killed off the main character, which is Aqua.
Mhm.
I don't think it's bad writing. It,
Really?
I actually like it when writers don't listen to the fans and do what they wanted to do, because obviously the way the story is going, I enjoyed it. Aqua's death was very tragic, but his death had a reason for it. Because if you think about it,
Hmm.
in the first chapter, Aqua died fighting off that stalker.
Yeah.
Technically, the Aqua we've been following throughout the entire series is a reincarnated version of Aqua.
Yeah, because I know he's a reincarnated version of the Doctor that essentially was essentially the doctor for the cancer patient that was later reincarnated as Ruby, as a sister.
Yeah. So, Aqua having a second chance, or reincarnated Aqua having a second chance, decided, I'm going to utilize the second chance and give the cancer patient, or Ruby, a second chance at happiness.
Hmm.
I'm going to straighten everyone who I think will have a shit future and put them into a better path.
Hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
that one psychopath. I forget his name.
Which one?
The one where Aqua got him into like acting because he saw that he had a higher potential for acting. I forgot his name.
Oh, okay. I've heard of him. I forgot his name too. But he
Yeah,
comes out.
frankly, because I don't care.
Oh
I never cared about him. That's why I don't remember his name.
man.
Yeah, but
But
but you know what I mean though. Everyone
yeah.
around him had a he managed to put everyone around him in more of a better path. But his main goal was for Ruby to
Hmm.
put her onto a better path, realize, make her realize, okay, yeah, you have a real passion to become an idol.
Hmm.
I was reincarnated for this purpose, to be closer to my sister and give them a better path, a
Hmm.
better chance at life, so that this time he can die before her. Because remember, she was a cancer patient and he was already a grown adult. He didn't
Hmm.
see that as fair that this little kid who had aspirations, who wanted to meet Ai Hashino and be an idol,
Yeah.
died before achieving her dreams. So because he got the second chance, it's like, you know what? I'm going to make sure you become an idol and make sure your dreams of your previous life comes true.
And what's kind of more insane about it is that he was basically putting his plan into action and stuff and doing all this work at the same time while trying to discover, the stalker that ended up killing Ai Hoshino in the first chapter.
Yeah.
Which he did end up finding out like who it was, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so pretty much from there, and it's one of those things where, and one of the main reasons why I do like, because I mainly know Akasaka from from Kaguya-sama Love is War, which is that was a fantastic work in itself. But the thing about Akasaka is that he's not really afraid. They're not really afraid to kind of do what other people think is like, the popular action, like in this case killing Aqua. If in the story it makes sense where it's like Aqua dies, but it's not like a meaningless death per se. Like say I don't know, a famous example would be Neji in the fourth grade ninja war and stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, and so pretty much like if you because it seems like you've read Oshinoko for uh, basically up to date and stuff. Like, in your opinion, do you think that this actually this death this makes sense in the end, or?
It makes sense. It has
Mhm.
a huge impact on everyone around, because you do have some characters who are just wondering, like, hey, where's Aqua?
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Aqua is at the sea, who got clonked in the head by a rock and is floating to the bottom of a of the sea.
Jeez. Damn. So he dies by drowning.
Yes, I mean it's in its final two chapters, but from what I've been reading so far, it does look like he's content with dying because he achieved everything he wanted to achieve.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not fully dead. He's more so like in his last, in his last moments.
No.
It's like we'll say he's semi-confirmed dead.
Yeah. Let's keep it at that, because remember, there's only two chapters left for Oshinoko.
Yeah, and I get, and it wouldn't be bad if the cop out was like, oh, somebody found him, and in the end and rescued him. But if it's one of those, again, if it's one of those things where it's like it adds on to the end of Oshinoko as well, and you basically see Ruby in the future. Uh, she's as big of an idol, if not even more bigger of an idol than Ai Hoshino. Then you know, then maybe it did. This was fate or God or a higher power saying this needed Aqua's death needed to happen for Ruby to pretty much go on and explode as an idol.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. We have two more chapters of Oshinoko to go. Once it's fully wrapped up, I'll start going through the manga because I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I did the spoilers did come up. It's still crazy though that he ended up essentially dying near the same spot where he in his past life he died in the cave as a doctor and stuff. Um, so that's the thing I do like is essentially when time becomes a flat circle in the sense of like you end up back to the spot where this whole thing started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good storytelling. I can't wait to binge through it.
I can't wait for it to get animated so people get even more upset on Twitter. Oh, it's such bad writing. It's such bad storytelling. Me. It's
Yeah,
great storytelling. Someone who enjoys a good story from video games, visual novels, or any other source of media, if it has a good story, it has good execution. Ah,
yeah.
love it.
No, yeah, because that's the thing. Let's say, for example, like if we want to take a modern edit or a modern take on it, that's what made essentially Infinity War and Endgame a good duo of the MCU movies because you needed that death at the end of Infinity War. You needed that like moment of despair uh, in order to set up Endgame perfectly. Because I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
how would it look like if like hey, Captain America beat Thanos and stuff, beat him down to death with his shield, and then what do you do in Endgame? Oh, Thanos is back, but somehow you managed to get a time machine, and it's one of those things where, again, if death and loss and all that, if it makes sense in a story, then it hits you way harder, and it makes the story that much better. I always like to go back to those arcs of essentially from Asuma's death all the way to the end of the Pain arc as a prime example of that because because in the end having that tragic loss and having basically beloved characters and beloved characters close to the main character or in this case Aqua was the main character but having beloved characters die off if it makes sense in the story where Asuma and Jiraiya died too in order to grow Shikamaru and Naruto as to be better ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Ace's death was so impactful,
Mm.
because if Ace was still around, Luffy never could have grown as a character and learned, like, I can just rely on my rubber powers.
Mhm.
He never would have gained that courage and that motivation to actually learn hockey and to master his conqueror's hockey.
Exactly, exactly. And pretty since this death of Aqua is freshly new, and it's heading, and it basically came pretty much near the end of the story. We still got to see like how the aftermath. If the aftermath hits, and it ends up putting a good bow onto like an already good manga, then that means it was for as like sad as it was and as depressing as it was, that means it worked. Um,
It's really impactful.
okay, okay, all right,
In
so
my opinion, it's really great.
all right, for sure. Then yeah, we got to see in the last two chapters, and and I'm confident in Nakasaka that he'll wrap it up. He'll wrap up the story really well because Lovers War, at least in my opinion, had like a fantastic ending to it. So in this case, if Oshinoko has a fantastic ending to it, you
And
know,
the reason why those two have really good story
mhm.
is because he's doing what he wants to do.
Yeah,
He wants to write it a certain way, let him.
yeah.
Oh, but I just think that it would be better if. Shut up. Let him cook.
Man, you're on one today against you're your demon timing against the naysayers of Aqua's death, huh?
Hell yeah, I'm just channeling my inner honey badger.
You channel your inner honey badger. Oh man! All right, honey.
See, I don't want peace. I want problems.
You got off your ship and you're looking for nothing but chaos.
Exactly.
All right. Well then, Honey Badger, I think it's time we head into the main event. And so, pretty much, I know we're in November, but let's be honest, zombies don't realize when October ends and when November begins and stuff. They'll fucking affect motherfuckers no matter what the month is. Which means we are heading into the final piece of our zombie series, and yeah, Dying
Which
Light
would have been
Zombies.
released on Halloween, but someone had to get sick.
No, no, no. See, here's it. We're not gonna fuck up this timeline. All right, we'll fuck up every other timeline that we talk about, but we're not gonna fuck up this one. I got sick 2 weeks prior to that. I was just, I swear to God, I'm gonna. Nah, nah. I mean, why do this? Why do you do this? I'm giving you the floor to introduce something that you like, and you're out here doing some bullshit.
Because I want problems.
Take problems with somebody else. I'll take it with me, man. I'm your co-host. I'm your friend.
Everyone gets problems.
I already had my problems. I'm just trying to record.
It's like that one VTuber said. What is your nationality? I would like to call you a slur.
The second we start going into that territory, nah. Now you're on your own at that point.
I'm
Uh,
Mexican. It's fine.
Stay DJ
Anyhow,
way. Dying Light Zombies. Let's get into it before we start losing the plot again.
all right. Dying Light Zombies is, well, for lack of a better words, it's a more realistic like zombies than you think it is.
Really?
Yes. So let me give you the real life example.
Okay.
You're walking your dog at a park, your dog spots a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Your dog starts automatically snarling because it senses something. Obviously, animals sense danger.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel starts running up. You, in a state of panic, protect your dog. Squirrel bites you and then just runs away.
Okay.
The squirrel, you thought, oh, that's pretty weird. Squirrels normally run away from people, they don't actually go and attack people. You go get tested. Turns out you have rabies.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So they say, "Oh yeah, you thank goodness you caught up to us. You know, we can just give you some parallaxis, you know, that will prevent disease for the disease from spreading, but it's not a cure. It's
Mm,
pretty much to suppress the disease. The way rabies works is that it attacks, it doesn't go into the bloodstream like every other disease like HIV, AIDS, and all that stuff. It goes into the nervous system and heads up to the brain, causing as much chaos and destruction on its way up. Now, what if I told you that the Dying Light zombies is rabies if it decided to go into your bloodstream?
shit. Really?
Yes. So, rabies, you won't notice the symptoms within a few weeks, 3 to a month. You won't notice it. Because the way the rabies infection works in Dying Light, the infection, because it goes into your bloodstream, what would normally take weeks or months to show up shows up within hours and days.
Damn. So pretty much once it starts in your bloodstream, it actually speeds up the symptoms of like the infection.
Exactly,
Oh.
because think of it like the HIV virus. It
Mm,
sends a RNA signal to your body that's supposed to like copy it and turn it into DNA and adds it to your body. Think of it like that.
mm.
It copies the RNA of the advanced rabies of the Dying Light and speeds up its infection process.
Jesus.
Now, here's the interesting part.
Hmm.
Depending on the strength of your immune system in the Dying Light universe, depends on what type of zombie you become.
Really? So it's not really pretty much like just a random array of like of different zombie types and stuff. It actually depends more on like how healthy you are and like or if your immune system is weak.
Yeah, so if you have a strong immune system, you become a regular biter. Biters walk slowly, they just go biting people, turning them into zombies.
Okay.
If your immune system is weak, you have a chance to develop mutations or turn into one of the three categories of zombies:
Oh, okay.
common infected, uncommon infected, and night infected.
So basically, since those two categories that you mentioned, and all that, those aren't really because seeing as how they have the name of common infected and all that. I thought typically if like you had like say a strong immune system, wouldn't you be a common infected or like because I know for strong immune system you mentioned that you essentially turn into a regular biting zombie.
Yeah, you'd be a walker, which in the Dying Light universe are known as biters.
Hmm.
They just stumble around, biting people, trying to spread the infection as much as possible. From biters, you can mutate into runners, which are fast zombies that can keep up with you to a certain pace.
Mm, okay.
Or from there, from those two, from a biter and a runner, depending on, let's say, a zombie bites a human,
Mm,
that human had the infection mutated and he bites another human and onwards and then bites you.
okay.
Depending on your immune system and depending on how much the infection mutated from zombie to person to from zombie to person, you have a chance to develop other mutations. You can become a bruiser, which are normal biters, but they're a bit stronger.
Mm.
So with a biter, you can take them down in 2 hits. Typical zombie lore. With bruisers, because they're a lot stronger, it takes a little more power to take them down.
Okay.
And let's not forget about people who try to, you know, decontaminate things, decontaminate areas, zombies, and all that stuff. Those are called gas tankers.
Gas tankers. So, like, is it like why are they called gas tankers?
So they're in hazmat suits, and they thought, oh, if we can use some corrosive substances with like hoses and like the little um, oxygen like tanks that are strapped to their backs, but it's full of the liquid
Mm-hmm.
they're using. They were bitten. Obviously, the suit didn't work, and now they're walking zombies with a backpack full of either corrosive substance, nitrogen, normal oxygen tanks, because those are researchers who tried to kind of study the infection up close, thinking a suit's going to help them, or World War II style flamethrowers.
Nah, can you imagine a zombie that essentially is loaded with a World War II style flamethrower?
Here's the thing: after they were turned into zombies, they became biters. But because they're in a suit, they can't bite you, but they can
Mm.
still attack you and all that stuff. But if you attack them, then you have a risk of accidentally hitting the tank that's on their back. So
Nah,
either A, they explode, which are called gas tankers. They explode, and the explosion lures in more zombies. Or you puncture a hole, and because they had a flamethrower on their back, suddenly you have this fireproof zombie just spitting flames everywhere, setting everything on fire.
okay, yeah, because pretty much at that point since they're essentially more focused on trying to attack you and bite you, they don't have essentially the intelligence to actually use the weapon.
Yeah, and because they're wearing like suits, they're not going to get harmed, but now you can't hurt them because they're either leaking corrosive toxins, uh, nitrogen, or they exploded, or they're leaking out fuel, which is causing this fireball to just happen around them, and you can't get close.
Damn. So basically, your best bet at that point is to either hope that they explode or hope that the fire pretty much engulfs them and melts them down to bone.
Which it won't happen because they have suits on, so
Eesh.
they have protective suits on that won't kill them and all that
So,
stuff.
what would be the best way to kill them then if they have the protection suits on? So and that way they don't pretty much burn to a crisp.
You turn them into crawlers, take the legs out.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's pretty much like the only thing you can do. Is take the legs out and then probably just start stomping on, caving their head in with like a blunt object, right?
Yeah, or the mutation could take you to a point where you become a viral.
What's a viral?
A viral is, for lack of a better words, think of a human spring.
Oh, like
Every muscle in their body gets finely tuned because of the mutation and turns them into a state where they don't run at you, they leap at you and they
uh,
try to tackle you down. And because every muscle in their body is finely tuned because of the mutation, the infection working in a different strand, they knock you down. And even if you're like, oh, I'm a parkour master, I can just, you know, go on top of this building and all this stuff, they're already there before you can reach the top.
Ah, hell no. Could you imagine that shit? Like, you're on top of an office building or like, like this 6 to 10 story building thinking that, oh, these zombies can't catch me. Only to have a fucking zombie use
Jump,
jump. Oh, like how high
jump
could.
all the way up there.
Oh, hell no. Good. And in the end, it still manages to tackle your ass down? Nah, man. Because.
Or if the zombie can't reach you up there, it will jump to a path to make sure it can get you up there.
Nah, that's wild. So pretty much, kind of like I forgot what game I'm thinking about. I think it's one of the Assassin's Creed games. So pretty much, you know how you could essentially, in order to kind of scale a building, like say there's another building across the way, it essentially could bounce off that same building and alternate until it reaches you on the roof.
Yeah,
Jesus, fuck, dude.
because remember, these this isn't like a normal kind of like zombie infection where they become mindless.
Hmm.
This is a rabies infection that decided, you know what? I'm not going to go in the nervous system. I'm going in your bloodstream and I'm going to mutate you.
Oh, okay, damn,
Which
that's.
in the Dying Light universe, it's called the Haran virus
Oh, okay.
because that's where it originated.
It originated those because is Haran like a city or a state within the game?
Haran is a fictional city, but let's just say that the government was testing out new things back in the fictional universe in 2013.
Okay.
That's when the government testing was secretly issued in Haran to try to see, like, oh, let's try to see if we can develop some kind of weapon.
No, because at that point, in any video game or in any story, once the government has the idea of like, you know what, we want to create this bioweapon, let's start testing it. Then it all just goes to shit at that point. And so, like, okay, so take me back to it. How exactly, like, what was the plan to for like the Haran virus to be used? Like, to was it like legit to turn them into zombies, the original intention, or like pretty much just turn them into like super soldiers?
Supposedly, and this is from in-game lore, during the Haran virus outbreak, that was an accident. That was just someone who caught rabies, didn't know about it, and it decided to mutate into, like, instead of going to your nervous system, it decided, I'm going in your bloodstream and I'm not going to mess you up mentally, but physically, to the point where your normal instincts that are now mine are going to do whatever I want it to do.
Okay.
So in 2013, they quarantined all of the city of Haran, and they're sending in GRE agents to kind of extract samples and test out, or kind of just, observe and see like what the symptoms are and all that stuff. Because if you manage if to get the Haran virus, right,
Hmm.
the way you get the virus is, first you start to get headaches,
Okay.
then your eyesight starts to get blurry vision, followed by seizures.
Yep.
And it's not confirmed yet, but because you can escape from zombies, you developed hydrophobia,
So essentially, like fear of
a
water.
fear of water.
Yeah, because I know that's supposed. I think that's one of the traits in rabies that that a person develops.
Exactly.
Jesus. So pretty much, you do get like you do get the hydrophobia from rabies, but essentially, you get other symptoms thanks to essentially the coronavirus affecting your bloodstream instead of affecting kind of like your nervous system.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
And then the events of Dying Light pretty much happens between 2014 and 2016. But here's the thing: the zombies I just talked about,
Hmm.
those are just common zombies. Those are common infecteds.
Those are common infecteds?
Yeah, we still have uncommon infected and night infected.
Damn.
So we go to the events 2014 to 2016, where you have a GRE agent by the name of Kyle Crane who gets deployed to try to find a scientist who figured out a cure for the virus.
Okay.
On his travels, he finds the uncommon infected.
And
You
basic. Oh, sorry.
you have
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I was just about to ask that. But go
no,
ahead.
no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, because I was about to ask. Okay, so because I know you just went over the common infected. So what would be like considered the uncommon infected in this case?
You have the infected who have been mutated because of their environment. Obviously, the way the infected, and this goes for all of the infecteds in the categories, they have a weakness to sunlight, UV radiation.
Oh, okay.
So with a black light or like one of those indoor lamps that gives off tons of UV light, you can use that to pretty much make a little base and make yourself a safe zone.
Oh, okay.
Because the way the infection works is that they sunlight slows down the infection process and could even have a chance to kill it.
Okay.
But the uncommon infected, because of their exposure to their environment or what they were doing and their immune system strength, mutated them to a form where they could become goons. Goons, think of them like giant orcs.
Oh, okay.
Either they're wielding a piece of rhubarb with a concrete at the end of it, or they have some sort of metal piece that's sticking out from one of their arms, and they're because the infection mutated their brains, and they see that this piece of metal is conjoined with them. It mutated them to a form where it's like whenever there's someone who's not infected, swing it around and kill them.
Jesus. So say for
So
example.
you have armed zombies.
Jesus Christ, dude. So say for example, you're in the middle of you're hiding, you're carrying a piece of two by four, like on one hand, you get infected, and the infection basically it pretty much just welds the two by four log onto your arm at that point. Correct? Am I getting this right?
It pretty much welds it to your arm, or it makes it so that you never let it go and you use that to your advantage.
God damn. Yeah,
And
but,
if
okay.
you don't become a goon, you could become a toad or a spitter in Dying Light too.
Okay, I gotta know. So I'm morbidly curious as to why they're called toads.
Ah, well, I mean, I don't want to quote him because I don't know if you'll get a copyright strike.
Just make a vague reference to whoever you're quoting.
Oh well, I gotta find it first.
No, but could you imagine that? Could you imagine essentially if you're gonna get turned into a goon? Like, say for example, you're like at a like I don't know, like at a McDonald's or a Burger King, and you get bitten. The fucking like soda cup that you're holding at the time, it welds to it welds to your arm, and you start using a soda cup as like a weapon to start beating down non-infected people.
That is wild. But I mean,
God.
I guess if I want to quote uh, the game, and this is the in-game quote from Sonic, Roger Craig Smith, because he voiced the main characters.
Mhm.
I'm shouting because this fucked up infected motherfucker with guts hanging out of his mouth just spit up a bunch of toxic snot at me.
Uh, that sounds incredibly like that sounds like the grossest form out of all these zombie forms so far.
Yeah. So think of the toad slash spitters
Mm.
as the support class of the zombies. They're not gonna be right in your face. They're gonna be as far away as possible, shooting their own stomach acid at you.
No.
They weaponize their stomach acid to a point where they could shoot it as projectiles to try to blind you and or slow you down so that biters, runners, and goons can kill you and eat your flesh.
Uh, yeah. So you know what? You know what? Those basically the spitters reminds you of. So it kind of reminds you of the, what's the demon or what's the demon type in Doom that has that essentially are like more support class demons? Was it the imps or I'm blocking out of the name? But it's the ones that
Uh
shoot like energy beams.
oh, you the ones that are just the floating head,
Yes, yeah.
cacodemons.
Cacodemons. It kind of reminds me of a cacodemon, where it's just instead of, well, in this case, instead of like firing energy balls and all that, it's firing just straight up stomach acids to try to slow you down.
Yeah, it's firing its own stomach acid.
Ugh.
And it really kind of sucks how they changed the design from Dying Light and to the second game,
Hmm.
because the first game's design, um think of the toad as the Hunchback of Notre Dame but without a neck.
Ooh, okay. So it's essentially kind of like just the head stuck to the hump.
It's the head stuck between his shoulder blades where his chest is,
Oh, bro.
spitting his own stomach acid at you.
Oh, nah. That's vile.
Yeah. And imagine, I guess, if I had to compare the goon to a real life person, imagine Shaquille O'Neal with the body type of Mike Tyson, prime Mike Tyson, wielding
Jesus.
wielding a piece of metal with a big ass stone at the end, trying to kill you.
Oh, fuck that! Nah, at that point, at that point, you just nah. That's inevitable. You're just dying. Nah, that's frightening.
Yeah. Now,
Nah,
let's move on to the other one, a demolisher.
I'm okay. So I'm pretty sure because at first I thought the goon was essentially the tank, but there's something by the well, obviously by the name, I'm like 98% confident that this is the tank.
Yes. He I guess if I had to say it, he is the tallest zombie in the Dying Light universe.
Damn, like what are like for an average demolisher? What's kind of like the height?
For an average,
Yeah.
probably around 7 feet,
Jesus.
maybe 8
Nah.
for
Oh,
the
oh,
average.
for the average, that means there's more taller fuckers than an average demolisher.
I mean, he's kind of like a mini boss.
Holy shit! No, fuck that. Like, okay, so basically, since he's tall, he's not as fast as kind of like the runners and stuff, right?
No, his strength lies in the ability to knock down walls, lift up, pretty much rip the ground from underneath him and throw it at you. Pretty much him throwing big ass rocks and cars at you
Mm,
from long distances. You could be at the top of a, let's say, 5 foot building,
mm.
and he tosses a car at you at fucking 45 miles per hour.
Jesus. So it's pretty much kind of like the Beast Titan from Attack on Titan.
Yes, however, because it's tall, the demolisher is really slow. So if it
Oh,
charges
okay.
at you, you can just sidestep and dodge it. But because it's big, I mean, you using a machete is not going to take it down. You're going to turn that a sharp machete into a blunt piece of metal by the time you kill the demolisher.
Because I would guess like say the area of flesh like around like his Achilles or his ankles and stuff, that's like thick flesh that's heavily protected, so you can't
Yeah,
really aim at the leg and hope to knock him down.
no, because its strength, all of its muscles are pretty much making it so that, I mean, if you have a zombie that can bust down through a wall, obviously it's really strong in comparison.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the mutation on this infection made it so that the demolisher is not going to be alone. It's going to be with biters, runners, and toads around it.
Fuck that at that point.
Yeah,
Get
so even if you do dodge him, his supports are going to be there to back him up.
No, man, that's not a winnable battle at that point. Because you imagine you have the demolisher knocking through like whatever reinforced door or gate or anything that you have, and then following him is a small army of walkers, of fighters, of runners, and of toads. No, no, that's not winnable.
Yeah. And if you're really unfortunate, you'll have bombers and screamers around.
Oh no, I do not like this the sound of those names.
No, cuz bombers are have mute let's say you're a really chunky dude,
Mhm.
350 pounds, right? You get bit because obviously you didn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
This infection weaponized all of the fat in your body to mesh with your stomach acid
Oh
to the point where now when you see someone who's not infected, you run towards them and explode yourself.
no way.
They're called bombers because they kill themselves in a large explosion hoping to kill you, and if you survive, all of that fat and the stomach acid that mixed together with it pretty much knocked you out enough for other zombies to come in and finish you off.
So basically, its second priority is just to stun you. Like it's obviously its first one is like, okay, I'm going to take you out, but if I can't take you out, I'm going
Yeah.
to slow you. Pretty much kind of like the toads.
Yes.
Mm. Side note: this is one motivation to get my fat ass into the gym because because I mean, if the zombie apocalypse comes, I do not want to be one of these motherfuckers. I'd
I
rather.
want to. I want to be a goon. I don't want to be a bomber. I want to crush motherfuckers. I don't want to commit suicide and just be a laughing stock because he couldn't kill me.
Yeah, fuck that. Can you imagine being a goon with like your like with like a little break kind of? It's like motherfucker. I'd rather be that instead of whatever the fuck this bomber shit is. No, I'm good. All right, no, I'm definitely going to the gym today.
I mean, you could be a screamer.
Typically, screamers are a good thing, but I'm highly sure this is not one of those scenarios.
Now, screamers call for backup.
Nope. Yeah. Nope. That's not a good scenario.
Not only that, but because the infection mutated them to a point where it weaponized their vocal cords.
Okay.
So if you spot a screamer and you're like, oh, I can take it down before it starts calling for backup, their voice, because it's so loud and so high pitched, it damages your eardrum, causing you to get lightheaded.
Yeesh. Well, that's dangerous as well. Because typically, whenever you reach kind of like these types of zombies or these type of kind of like mutants or zombies and stuff, where in any video game where like they shout and scream out for backup, you're not affected by it. But in this case, they added the which is is a smart feature to add. They added it where you also take light headache damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, let's say you want to go out at night.
Mm.
It's worse at night
How is it worse at night than it already is?
because biters at night turn into runners. Because during the day, biters are just walkers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of all that UV radiation that's pretty much slowing down the infection rate.
Mm-hmm.
During the night, because there's no sunlight, they can run.
Oh, okay. They could run because pretty much the infection rate fully speeds up back to normal speed, and it allows them.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Okay, damn, that's frightening. So
But
even
here's the thing,
mhm,
they're not the ones you should be worried about.
really.
You should be worried about volatiles.
Oh, okay. So I gotta know what's dangerous about volatiles.
Volatiles were incredibly mutated to the point where they're all muscle. Think of a shorter version of a goon.
Mm.
Think of it like half the size of Shaquille O'Neal.
Shit.
He's still a huge like muscly person,
Mm.
but the mutation modified his muscles so that he is all muscle to the point where the skin around his back rips open to make space for more muscle.
Oh, so it's kind of like muscular from My Hero Academia.
Exactly. He's like muscular, but in
Jeez.
zombie form.
Nah.
And and let me tell you about the human anatomy real quick.
Hmm.
Everyone has your four main ribs that's connected to your sternum, right?
Yeah.
You also have three sets of false ribs that two of them are connected to one, which is then falsely connected to one of your other ribs that is not connected to your main chest.
Hmm.
Because the mutation sped up the process of their muscles and their bones, it forced the growth of these false ribs to shoot out of their chest.
Shit. So on top of the fact that it's just all muscle to the point where it can continuously grow new muscle tissue, and pretty much protect. It's kind of like a coat of armor. On top of that, they also have ribs poking out of their chest for more defense.
Yes, and because of the increased growth, it also split their jaw in two down the middle. Think of think of the predator,
Okay.
but instead of having the open square mouth, it's just the bottom jaw that's split in half.
Really? Basically, the upper half is still intact.
Is still intact. Is just the lower jaw that it's split in half. So now it has more reach to bite more of your face off.
So okay, so explain to me how that works, because I mean,
So
because
you know how your face is symmetrical, right?
yeah.
The human anatomy, your jaw, the middle part of your jaw is the weakest part of your jawline.
Okay.
The middle, right where your chin is.
Like
So
where? Okay.
yeah, so the mutation increased their growth so much that it strengthened up the sides of the pretty much the cheekbones and the sides of your jaw to a point where the middle part, which is the weakest, it couldn't grow because it's not connected to the main part of your body.
Mm.
So it split open, also tearing the flesh from underneath your chin.
Ah.
So now you have this open claw like jaw that has more reach into grabbing or biting your entire arm off.
So it's technically like, you know how snakes can unhinge their jaw. It almost works in the same fashion, but without the unhinging.
Think of it like that, but instead of opening up to down, it opens left to right and up and down.
Ah, hell no! Fuck that! No, this motherfucker
and
is terrifying already.
and that's just your basic volatile. That's like the normal volatile.
That's the
You,
normal one.
yeah, you'll have blue volatiles,
I gotta know.
which
Yeah.
are, think of the same thing, the same characteristic of a volatile,
Mhm.
but they're armored.
Wait, there are like how are they armored? Because I thought the muscle. Because
So the on the regular volatile, their muscle, it pretty much, think of it as leather armor.
okay.
Blue volatiles have iron armor.
Ooh, okay. So was it?
So it mutated their, in this one, it's years and years of just mutations and being out out at night, passing on the genetic mutation of a volatile from person to person, to the point where instead of uh, having the muscle rip the skin off of the host, it instead hardens it to the point where it's as hard as iron.
Oh, okay.
So now you have all of the characteristics of a volatile, but with iron armor on.
Nah, no. That makes it far more terrifying. And I'm a,
But they only come out at night. Because of their increased mutation, they are extremely weak to UV radiation.
okay. So this is where basically like if you have like a portable UV lamp and you shine it on them, you could pretty much weaken them right
You
off the
can
bat.
scare them away.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and if they're caught out in the sunlight, instead of prioritizing you, they will prioritize their own safety and beeline to the nearest building, cave, or wherever they can seek protection from the sun.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so essentially they at least they at least use logic in their thinking process.
Not only that, but volatiles are highly intelligent.
Oh, okay. Like how intelligent are they other than basically seeking shelter?
So let's say you do parkour, right? You parkour, you Assassin's Creed your way up to a building, right?
Hmm.
And they see you climbing up. They're smart enough that they can dig their fingers into the building and start climbing up the building like Spider-Man.
Oh, fuck that! No.
Not only that, but they are faster.
Really? Like, are they more faster than the runners?
More faster than the runners. Think of a an Assassin's Creed Usain Bolt.
Mm.
He's able to outrun everyone and climb the tallest building in a matter of seconds. Volatiles can keep up with you and catch you.
Jesus Christ, hell
It,
no.
it, it's like that quote from Boondocks. I likes you and I wants you. Now we can do this the easy way or we could do this the hard way.
That's the perfect tagline for blue volatiles. If these motherfuckers are willing to chase you down, and pretty much like no matter what, no matter if you're like faster, if you're more faster than a runner, and you have UV light on you, they're just they won't stop until they fully hunt you down. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah. Oh, and not only that, but they have two characteristics of uncommon affected.
Okay.
They have the characteristics of screamers and toads. So not only can they call for other volatiles to come help them out, but even if you're out of reach and they see I can't climb up there, they weaponized their stomach acid to a point where it's like heartburn. So now you have molten stomach acid getting spit at you. that will not only,
What?
it won't slow you down, it'll start burning you.
What the fuck? No. No,
and
no way.
and because they're smart, they know how to use their own anatomy to their advantage.
Nah, GG's at that point. Game over. That's yeah. I'd rather. No, no. Just send me to the fat zombie so he can blow me up. No, no. Hell no, no.
Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you stumble upon a sentient volatile.
I'm afraid to ask at this point, but what is a sentient volatile?
Sentient volatiles are intelligent volatiles to the point where it's like, I can have a conversation with you, I can speak with you, I can mock you, or I can try to convince you and trick you into like, hey, it's not so bad being a zombie, you know? If I bite you, you can become a sentient volatile and, you can help me out and all this stuff instead of being a mindless biter, you
No,
know?
no way, no way. There's a section of the volatiles that actually uses words. Can you imagine that? Hey, can you imagine essentially like say you're up on your house and this motherfucker trying to get away from this motherfucker, right? And he starts burning down your house with his stomach acid while mocking you at the same time. He's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get you! Ooh, I'm gonna get you! You got nowhere to go! Oh, you think you can
Yeah.
outrun me? I'm faster than you!"
We've only seen one case of a sentient volatile, and that is in Dying Light the Following, which is a DLC.
Mm-hmm.
But the sentient volatiles have all the correct characteristics of a volatile and a blue volatile.
Yeesh.
So they're pretty much normal beefed up dudes, but they can talk.
And basically they have their skin is around the same level as blue volatile.
Yeah.
Oof. Nah, no, hombre. At that point, yeah, no, you're fucked.
Or maybe you come across a bolter.
Okay, what is a bolter? Because I have a feeling it doesn't sound as bad as a volatile, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like above it.
They come out at night,
Mm-hmm.
and their job is, well, pretty much to collect resources.
Oh, okay, so they're good. So they're a scavenger zombie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad.
They pretty much are, I guess you could say, they're let's quote the game.
Mm-hmm.
The frail and skittish bolters leaps into a panic fight or flight, preferring flight at the sight
Mm.
of a human. If you catch and kill it, you can prioritize all of the loot and biomaterials it has on its body in order to try to figure out a cure.
Oh, okay. So they're pretty much the loot boxes for Dying Light 2, or for the
Yeah,
Dying Light series.
but they are faster than Usain Bolt.
Okay, so this
If
would
it
be
if it catches you and it sees you, it's gonna be like, nah, I gotta go.
mm,
Goodbye, and you'll never be able to catch it.
okay. So would you say that the bolters are the fastest species out of the essentially the Dying Light zombies?
Yes, and they're also the I guess they're the pussies of the Dying Light zombies.
Yeah, which I'm surprised too, because usually like whenever you play like a zombie game, there's really any species of zombies that aren't afraid to attack a human.
Yeah, but they're the brand of the mutation where, like rabies, you become two brands of rabies in species.
Hmm.
You're either the dumb kind of rabies, where you turn into a vegetative state and you can't do anything, or you're the aggressive type of rabies.
Okay.
The in-game lore of the Haran virus pretty much Everyone else got prioritized to the more aggressive side, but you have that 2% that was prioritized in the dumb category, which prioritize instead of fight, flight.
Wow. No, that's actually the first I've like that's actually the first time I heard of like kind of like a style of that for zombies where like a certain percentage of it is more for prone to run and avoid combat.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Uh, is there any more like zombie types for like when it comes to Dying Light?
And you have your last one that comes out at night.
Oh no,
It's called a night hunter.
I'm assuming combat type.
Yes. The
Okay.
night hunter is a fearsome predator who watches over the hives of incubating volatiles. He is a force to be reckoned with, as he is the one to look out for danger that could harm the hive of future volatile and blue volatiles.
Oh wow! Like so on the scale of the zombies or the different species that you listed so far, where would you put the Night Hunter at?
Mm,
Because it's
underneath volatiles.
underneath volatiles. Okay, yeah, because he sounds like if he's essentially the main guard for the volatileness and stuff, he does sound like he's very difficult to kill.
Yeah, because I mean, think about this way:
Mhm.
night hunters have all of the abilities of volatiles, except their acid spit explodes.
What?
Yeah, and if they see you, they're not going to prioritize you.
What are they going to
Their main
prioritize?
their main priority is to protect the hive of future volatiles.
Oh, okay.
That's their one job. It's like it's like soldier ants protecting the queen.
Okay,
They're
okay.
not going to prioritize the threat. They're going to let everyone else kill the threat, and if the threat gets closer to the hive or to its main priority, they're going to say, "Okay, now it's my turn to attack."
Okay. So they're pretty much the last line of defense.
Yes. Or in this case, they're the first line of defense for future volatiles.
Okay, okay. I get it. What like is it like? Because I would assume it's more straight up close combat instead of like, oh, we're gonna fight you at a distance.
They're both.
They're both. Oh shit.
So they're the brand, though. So you can think of them as volatiles,
Hmm.
just a bit shorter. And instead of prioritizing, oh, I need to go out and kill humans, it's, oh, I need to protect the future volatiles. So I need to stay around this nest, around this hive of what I know are future volatiles that are going to go out and wreak havoc.
Okay, so there's such a proto volatile.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
they're pretty much volatiles that never got to be volatiles, so they're like, screw it. I have all of their abilities. I'm just going to protect the nest of future volatiles.
Oh, okay. That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Oh man, man, that's not like because I've only really played like Dying Light 2, so I'm not overly familiar with it. But from the way you kind of lined out the different zombie species, volatiles, regular zombies, and biters, and toads, and all that, man, it seems like it's not really like a mindless kind of like zombie apocalypse. No, it seems like it's more. I would put it more like in the side of what the flood is, or it's more like of a coordinated. There's pharaohs, but it's more of a coordinated attack on non-infected.
Yeah, and think about this, and think about it in this case. It all started in 2013, and by the time you get to the second game, it's 2036.
So it only took them 20 years to essentially tear down the Earth.
Yeah, because the first sighting
Hello,
of hello,
hello.
uh oh,
Sorry about that, folks. It seems like we've been having internet issues on Grease Spector's end um, for some time. So just gonna uh, wait for him to come back.
Yes, I'm back.
Man, I was just telling our good listeners here. Which I mean, we could cut out the awkward pause on it before the cutoff. But yeah, continue.
Yes. Anyhow, it all started with the first sighting in 2013. The first sighting of the Huron virus, which led to the city being quarantined. From 2014 to 2016 is the events of Dying Light and the DLC they released, Dying Light the Following,
Hmm.
which you are following the main character, Kyle Crane, a GRE agent who was tasked with finding a cure, taking samples, and making sure that it goes to a GRE agent and the main government facility. But because you were bit, you were infected, you failed your job.
Okay.
At the end of 2016, Kyle Crane finds a way to escape, but is immediately caught by the GRE and was taken away to a facility where he was then experimented on, and just a whole bunch of just events happening.
Oh wow.
Around 2017, which was known as Bad Blood, and keep in mind this wasn't confirmed to be canon by the developers, but it makes sense. Agents were sent into Haran to collect samples and get to an exfil site, where then they would take it back to the GRE facility because Kyle Crane failed at his job.
Okay.
We can say, if it is canon, they found a way to find a cure by 2018. Boom, there's a cure, everyone goes back to normal, but they nuked the fictional city of Haran to make sure that the infection is never seen again.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because it's the GRE and they're a government owned facility, they thought, let's try to weaponize this infection so we can just drop an airborne infection
These
during
motherfuckers.
war and just, kill all of our enemies.
These motherfuckers. So apparently they didn't learn from the events of the first game.
Yes. And around 2015, it's called Black Monday.
Oh no, that sounds
So
horrifying.
before that, around 2013, a mutated version of the Haran virus, which is more advanced and more developed, gets released mysteriously out into the world, and everybody is just in panic. They're running because, oh, the Haran virus 2.0 comes out and everybody's getting infected.
Mhm.
So the GRE quarantines an entire city around 2025, which is called Black Monday, and they release an airborne bomb on a city, not to cure everyone, but to see what happens.
Nah, that's horrible.
Yes, it is horrible. And the end result was it mutated everyone at an accelerated state, to where in a couple of minutes, everyone became either a common infected, an uncommon infected, or a night infected.
Jesus. So basically, they use the city as like just a giant petri dish for the new Horan virus.
Yeah, because they saw, oh, this 2.0 Huron virus came out. We can't cure it because we don't know how it mutated or how it got out. Fuck it. let's start running some experiments and see what we can do and what
No,
kind of data we can collect.
nah, that's immoral as fuck. That's like
Keep
it's
in
a,
keep in mind during during the second strand of the virus coming out, Kyle Crane is being experimented on.
Eesh. So they're basically committing crimes against humanity at this point.
Yeah, not only doing human experiments with a former GRE agent, but also closing off cities, dropping airborne Haran virus bombs to see what happens, and doing a whole kind of heinous stuff.
Eesh. Nah, these dudes really delved into the whole like shadow government secret experiment portal rabbit holes and whatever it is.
Yeah, with their new game coming out, Dying Light: The Beast, which I assume if the tie, because they say it's a prequel to Dying Light 2, we can assume that it takes place during 2029,
So a full so
which is
full
the
16 years or so when after the first outbreak.
yes, before Dying Light 2, but after Black Monday.
Oh, okay.
2029, Kyle Crane escapes from a GRE facility, and because he endured 13 years of experiments, he now has full control of his infection. We can think of him as an advanced version of a volatile, but with a human body.
Yeah, actually, because judging from like judging from the gameplay and from the trailer and stuff, it seems like after it seems like he does have essentially the abilities of a volatile,
Yeah,
but we never actually really seen like okay, if it's one of those things where he doesn't essentially bulk because I'm assuming the volatiles are kind of like bulked up to kind of like a juggernaut almost style of zombie, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I would assume in this case he would be more of a more humanoid version of a volatile, more leaner, more shorter, but still have all the abilities like the hardened skin, the stomach acid, and pretty much the physical enhancements.
Oh, yeah. And around the same time as, well, let's say around 2020, maybe 2022,
Hmm.
a young Aiden Cadwell is being tested on, a child being
Nah,
tested on by the GRE to see if they can use a slower and lighter dose of the Haran virus to mutate the next generation of humans to become immune to this virus.
Jesus. So even in the middle of another outbreak, of a more advanced outbreak, the GRE still insists on, and then this is to basically find an immune or immunity or a cure for it. But now they've basically gone to testing on children in this case.
Yes,
Jesus.
and it's all in this in the disguise of, oh, we need your children who were born after the first Haran virus
Yeah.
during the outbreak to see, because their immune systems are still new and undeveloped, to see if we can figure out a cure for the new virus.
Nah. These dudes are as bad as Oni at this point.
Yeah, that was just a front to say, hey, let's test out the zombie virus to see if we can make them into stronger humans and immune to the zombie infection.
Because I'm pretty sure at this point they're basically still looking for a way to weaponize the advanced Haran virus, even though the world is essentially gone to shit.
Yep. And around 2030, the world's done. There's only one city that was pretty much quarantined from the world, but ended up saving that city because now everywhere is just infected, fallen cities, and you have this new generation of humans who are born. And if you were to ask them, hey, How's Italy doing? They're just going to tell you what's in Italy. I'm only 20 years old. I don't know what the hell in Italy is. I was born during the infection, and I don't know what peace is. All I know is, you know, you wake up in the morning, you go outside, kill a few zombies, collect some resources, come back inside, and live another day.
Damn. So at this point, and dialect to the generation of kids, or the generation of kids or young adults, where all they really know is zombie hunting and quarantine.
Yeah, they don't know what peace is. They don't know what working cars are.
Man, that thing, man, like this whole game series is beautifully tragic, fantastic combat, but as the story of it just goes horrifyingly tragic.
Oh yeah, and during the events of Dying Light 2, you have a 20-year-old Aiden Cadswell looking for his adopted sister Mia to because it's like he believes that they were both separated and that this evil dude who experimented on him is, holding her hostage and all this stuff.
Hmm.
Turns out both you and your adopted sister were both tested on running the same text experiments, but you were heavily tested on in order to find a cure for her weak immune system
Okay.
to keep her from becoming a zombie.
Okay, so pretty much Aiden was used as a spare parts body for Mia.
Yes, but the outbreak came out. The Pretty much the world went to shit, and now you have the events of Dying Light 2, where you're Aiden Cadswell surviving in this world, trying to find his sister in the last city in existence.
Damn, man, that's. I mean, if you're gonna do a sequel, that's a hell of a way to do it.
Yeah. And supposedly, Dying Light the Beast takes place between the events of Black Friday and Dying Light 2. So it's before the world went to shit and before all of the highly mutated zombies. So you still have zombies, but in their like fresh mutation states and not in their final evolution like you see in Dying Light 2.
Okay. I'm gonna guess that basically Dying Like the Beast, you get to see in real time how exactly the world went to shit with
Yes.
the zombie apocalypse and stuff.
I
It's,
really hope it if everyone is correct and if the Twitter posts from the official makers say that this takes place before Dying Light 2, I can't wait to see the lore in this and see if all of my predictions are correct.
yeah, no, yeah, because I mean, it does. It really is interesting how pretty much like in the timeline was if you're playing the game, you pretty much don't just go through one zombie apocalypse, right? But you end up going through a second one that's more highly advanced that actually destroys civilization as we know it and leaves just a sole city with survivors and pretty much an entire generation of that only know how to survive. Um, yeah, and I'll give credit and I fully applaud the Dying Light team studio for doing this. That for the Beast, they're releasing like okay, now we get to see how civilization fell in, and you get to play through it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, oh, man, that's rough. That's tough. It's yeah, no, so yeah, I mean that was Dying Light Zombies. That's man, there's a lot of lore and there's a lot basically is pretty much from the zombies that I didn't know about, and I'm pretty sure anybody who hasn't played the game or is new to the game or new to the story, the wasn't familiar with it at first. Man, that's you covered a lot.
Oh yeah. That's why I believe that the Dying Light universe has the best zombies. Period.
Yeah, yeah, I could kind of see why too. I mean, for me, I still mainly believe it's a flaw due to the intelligence, but if anything, I would say that Dying Light Zombies kind of equals it or surpasses it by like you know a layer and stuff because man, they really did think of pretty much like a good survival game and make you feel that despair.
Oh yeah, and just a shout out to Roger Craig Smith for voicing both Aiden Cadswell and Kyle Crane.
I didn't know that. I know he voiced Aiden Cadswell, but I didn't know he voiced Kyle Crane.
Yeah,
Man is talented because he's also the current voice of Sonic the Hedgehog and voice of Mirage in Apex Legends.
yeah. So if you want to hear Sonic swear, just play the Dying Light games, and you can just pretend it's older Sonic or adult Sonic just swearing.
Just swearing while he's hacking up zombies. Can you imagine if they did another type of Sonic creepypasta but set in a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That'd be hilarious. So yeah, that was a satisfying conclusion to the end of our zombie series. It's always good to learn more about this stuff and especially lore and any new information that hopefully we get to enhance your gaming experience, whether it be Call of Duty, Halo, or Dying Light. So all three games are relatively good. If you are new or like new to the fandom of any of them, definitely give it a shot. And with this information in mind, it'll be 10 times more or 100 times more creepier. Yeah, I mean, seems like we're kind of getting a little caught up on time. Next episode, we'll bring back manga recommendations. There is one I'm currently reading on on the Manga Plus app. It's fairly entertaining. Can't wait to I'll tell you guys more about it. And yeah, next episode, bringing back three episode review for a series that I'm watching. Actually, for two series. One that I'm watching and Don to Don because I'm gonna be honest with you. I really been seeing clips on like social media. That shit looks wild.
It is wild.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
funny, but it's wild.
yeah, can't wait to talk more depth about it. Actually, before we sign off, because I know we mentioned Nikkei before earlier in the episode, since it's the second anniversary and the new Adventures drop, I know you told me during the first day, it's like, oh, dude, I've played like the first 5 episodes of the Nikkei event, and all I think it's called Olden Time, is it? Um,
Uh,
Hold on, let me switch it up. But yeah, you were essentially telling me like that you played the first 5 episodes of it, and you sent me this gif of being shocked, and so I decided, you know what, let me see because Old Tales, that's the name. Um, and so I decided, you know what, let me play through it because I was waiting on something. Holy fucking Christ, dude! What the just God? Let me tell
yeah,
you, I'll give it this. I know a lot of people, like ourselves included, we joined on Nikkei because for the gyat for because the Nikkeis were hot. But man, the story is incredible, and the event story for this man, it gets fucking violent.
Shift Up is doing a great job with the storyline for Nikkei.
Oh yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. We're not going to cover it, but we do. We both highly encourage you in case you're looking to play any gotcha games, like either on PC or on mobile.
Not
Nikkei,
not sponsored.
not
Hashtag.
hashtag not sponsored, obviously, but we cannot recommend Nikkei enough. This thing, it's so good. But yeah, no, holy fucking shit.
If you're a man of culture, go ahead. This game has what you need. And if you're a person who's in it for the story will fuck you up.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely will fuck you up. It definitely will fuck you up, no matter what, even at the start. Yeah, because we can't recommend it enough on this channel, and man, it's it's good. It's good, and that, and I'd figured. So typically, whenever, because with the summer event and like the two following events afterwards, we figured that there's some kind of like drama and some, a little bit of kind of like sad stories stuff that goes into it, and we were due for a dark story. Man, Shift of delved heavily into the darkness. But yeah,
For its second anniversary, they toned it up. Oh God, I mean, imagine you're being experimented. They tell you you're the perfect. You've now become the perfect super weapon to fight off this alien invasion. You and four others are like, oh yeah, we're now the best. We're specially made to fight off this alien invasion. Only for the most amped up person in your group that was said to be unbeatable to suddenly turn on everyone and starts brutally massacring everyone out of nowhere.
yeah, yeah. That's
And you're just wondering, how did this happen? How did you become corrupt? Nobody knows.
exactly nobody knows, and it's still a huge mystery. And we won't. Yeah, I mean, we've already sort of spoiled it just now, but trust us when we say this. The way we explained it, it doesn't do it justice.
No.
We highly encourage you to basically download the game and start playing the event,
The
because trust me,
visuals, the voice acting, everything is just really perfect about this.
really,
It really sets a whole grim tone of like what just happened.
yeah. And plus, as an extra, the soundtrack for Nikke is pretty fucking cool.
Oh, it's always perfect.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially in this one where it's basically more kind of like piano and more melancholic tones. And yeah, trust us, you won't regret it. Especially if you're looking for a new gotcha game to play, won't regret it. But yeah, I think it's about time we wrap it up. We've been at this for nearly 2 hours, and I think so far it's going to be the longest episode, which is fitting because this is the 10th episode of the Otaku Kickback Sessions. We did it, buddy. We're consistent.
Hooray.
Hooray! Hooray! I'm gonna go and have myself a bag of jalapeno chips. Yeah.
Loser.
What do you mean, loser? That's always
Only
that.
losers eat jalapeno chips.
Okay, then what do you eat?
Nacho cheese.
Then whose cheese is it?
Not yours.
God, that's stupid. Yeah. That's going to be it for episode 10 of the Otaku Kickback Sessions. Thank you guys so far for joining us on this ride, and we'll have many more to come. And, we'll have some more important announcements to make, and you just got to tuck it over on the back end of stuff. But yeah, thank you for joining us. This episode is going to come out on Monday morning at 10:30 Pacific time, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, for myself, Easy the Shinobi, and for Green Spectre, as always, enjoy your evening, your Saturday night, enjoy your Sunday, and hope to see you guys again soon.
Yeah.
Laters.